Hi everyone, welcome to Chalchitra Talks. I'm Vani, and this week we have a guest with us. His name is Vivek Tejuja. He's the cultural editor at Verve. He's also an author and book lover. Earlier this week, I had this opportunity to sit down with him and we spoke about books, his music preferences, the movies he loves. And in this process, he gave me a lot of book recommendations. So without wasting your time, let's just jump right in. Hi Vivek, how are you?
Hi, Vani. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm fine as well. So, welcome to Chalchitra Talks. I am so
Thank you.
happy we are finally here talking about books.
Yeah, me too.
So, I have a questionnaire prepared for you, and I
Sure,
hope I'll touch upon everything.
sure.
So,
Let's
shall
do
we
it.
begin?
Sure.
Sure. Firstly, what is the earliest book that you remember? Something that has, stayed with you all these years?
I think the earliest book is when my teacher in school used to read out after lunch, used to read
Yeah.
out Mr. Pink Whistle stories to us, which were from Enid Blyton. And
Yeah.
that has somehow stayed in my memory. And I don't even remember the name of the teacher or her face, but I think just the fact that she used to read out those stories and with great animation and with a lot of excitement. I
Yeah.
think that has sort of stayed with me a lot. And it was then when I actually went and picked up those books and everything and then started reading them. So yeah, that's that.
I also know that you read a lot of books. I stalked you enough on social media, quite a lot. And I am absolutely in love with your list. But
Thank
in addition to that, I also love your book rack. So, for someone like me, I hoard a lot of books.
Me
I
too.
buy more books than I can ever consume. Is that the same case with you?
Yeah, yeah, completely. I buy books, publishers send books. I don't get to read as much as I would like to, but I
Yeah,
think it's okay. There's always the assurance that they are there. That what
yeah.
if I want to read that particular book on that particular day, and if it's not around, then what? That panic mode should never happen.
So, how do you decide what is it that you want to buy and what books that you would not buy? For me, I sniff and I go by covers and I do the most shallow things as well, depending on paper quality, etc., etc. So, what is your process of going around
So
it?
I think what I do is I do my online research really well. I visit the sites that I normally do. Like there's a site called LitHub, which I absolutely love
Yeah,
for recommendations. I go through all of the publishers' catalogs. So I go
yeah,
through each and every publisher's catalog to see what's coming up and is there something that I've missed. There are
yeah.
independent publishers that are really small and they come out with some fantastic books. So I go through their lists as well. Then
Okay.
there these days, of course, nobody recommends in the newspaper or in any magazine as they used to. But I think you get a lot of sense of books even through Instagram and Twitter. So
True,
I
true.
don't think they are like, well, they're okay. I mean, they're all right. They're there. But I think that kind of research I definitely do because I have one theory that if I have to buy the book or if I have to even request it from the publisher, the fact is that I should like it or I should at
True.
least love it because I
Yeah.
don't believe in. I of course I DNF a lot. I do not finish a lot if I do not like the book. But
Okay.
mostly I think whatever I buy or whatever I consume, I've always loved.
Is there any category in particular that you find yourself going back to again and again?
I think I love the literary novel as such, literary fiction.
Yeah.
But I also I enjoy graphic novels a lot and
Oh,
comics. I love books about books and reading. I love books about the lives of authors that I
yeah.
have loved and want to know more about. Because then what happens is from those books itself, I get a list of another book
Yeah.
to read or more books to read. So if I'm reading a book about books, that in itself will give you like another 100 to 200 books to read. So I think
True.
it's fascinating where lists come from.
I actually saw it on your Instagram as well. I think you make a list of all the books that you've read about in a book, right?
Yeah, yeah, I do that for some books. Yes,
So, you also said something about graphic novels. So,
yeah.
if there is someone who wants to start, maybe pick up, wants to get into reading graphic novels, what would your top three recommendations be for that person?
I think I would definitely ask them to read Blankets. Mouse is another one that I definitely would recommend by Art Spiegelman. And I think a lot of people have recommended that on your channel as well. Um,
Yes.
and which the third one that I would highly recommend is not a graphic novel, it's a series of comics, the
Okay.
Sandman comics by Neil Gaiman, that I
Yeah.
absolutely love and love. I think if I had to be deserted on an island, I would just carry those with me. And I think those 75 odd volumes will be enough for me to last me there. I'll
Yeah.
reread and read and reread. It's that fascinating.
What do you love about them?
You know, what he has done is that instead of not only creating a fantastical world, he has linked those elements of that world with our emotions.
Yeah.
So there is a Dream, that's a major character in Sandman, and you have Dream's siblings, Desire, Envy, Death,
True.
and a couple of others. I think there are about 7 siblings in all. And with that, he brings about a range of emotions in
Okay.
each of them. And I think that's so universal. I mean, if we just are talking about human emotions, and then he talks about Shakespeare, then he's talking about almost the entire history of the world in that sense, in those
Yeah.
volumes, which I find extremely fascinating that, he's doing so much and with magic, a lot of magic, because he's Neil Gaiman, he has to have the
True.
fantastical element to, whatever he does. In fact, I don't even like his novels as much as I love Sandman.
Okay. So, beyond books, what else do you usually end up reading?
I read a lot of long form essays that come on Literary Hub or Lit Hub. I read
Okay.
a lot of essays on electric literature on those sites. So they're not about books,
Yeah.
but they are like I read a lot of articles on brain pickings. I love
Yeah.
what she does on her website,
True.
pickings.org, what she does with reference to talking about life and nature and space and science. And I think that's very, very interesting. And to
Yeah.
someone like me who doesn't even like science all that much, I still love the way she explains it or she talks about it with such passion. So I
Yeah.
think these are the couple of sites that I go to read something more.
Right.
There is this comical website called XCDC, I think. I
Yeah.
can't remember. They have these comic strips that come out every day, or at least used to. So
Okay.
I love reading that. I think that relaxes me a lot. And so I think a good mix of that really helps.
So, for someone who wants to say start reading, because there are so many people who want to start reading but do not know how to get into, what would you suggest they do? Like pick up these blogs, long form blogs or articles, because today's population has become very attention deficit, right? Thick books scare them a lot,
Yeah,
and yeah. So,
yeah.
what would you recommend to such people as a great endpoint?
What I'm going to do, and which I've done also in the past several years, is that alongside my novels or nonfiction or whatever book reading is there, I also make it a point to read one short story a day by
Yeah.
any writer, and I don't repeat the writer. So
Okay.
365 new writers and 365 short stories every single, one day. So that's
Yeah.
365 in a year. And it can be anything, right? It can be a short story of 2 sentences. It can be a short
Right.
story of 20 pages. It can be a short story of 4 pages. It can be a Portuguese writer translated. It can be Hindi, it
Yeah.
can be Punjabi, Urdu, whatever. So I think that should, for someone who's intimidated or scared of reading, I think that would be a great starting point. Is that read a short story, read a
True.
poem a day. Get to know the nuances of it, enjoy it, uh,
Yeah.
discuss it with someone who's a reader or not a reader also. Read graphic novels, read anything.
Yeah.
Anything is reading as long as it is words on paper or words on screen. I think that's reading.
You've been doing that this year as well, right?
Reading a short
Reading a
story.
short story every day.
No, actually, I couldn't do it, but I'm going to do it in 2021 for sure. And I'm going
Okay,
to keep it open to whoever wants to join in and read with me.
sure.
So
Do
that,
you have like three short stories that you would like to recommend from the top of your head?
I've got
Like,
3 short story collections actually.
oh, that's
I've got
great.
4 of them, which are published by Aleph Book Company. and they're beautiful. There's one which is greatest short stories ever told in Bengali. There's
Yeah.
one in Urdu. There's one in Odisha, and the latest one is of Hindi. It is excellent how they've taken, and they're going to do more languages, right? They're going to do Malayalam, Tamil, and they're looking at Indian languages and what we have to offer in terms of the short story genre. Like, see,
Yeah.
everybody would recommend the Manto, everybody recommends Ismat Chugtai, everybody recommends Prem Chand, but I think there's so much more to also than just those writers. I'm not saying don't read them. Sure,
Yeah.
read them, but discover. Always discover more, because I think
Yeah.
as a reader, I can never see myself being only limited to particular writers or particular genres.
Yeah.
Even if I don't like a person for who or what they are, I think if I love their writing, I can easily separate art from the artist. Not in all cases,
Yeah.
definitely, but in some cases.
Is there any book that you've read in both the languages, English and Hindi?
So I read Ismat Chughai's memoir, A Life in Words. I read that in
Okay.
English, and then I went and read it in Hindi, which is
Okay.
Kagazi Hai Pairan, which I
Wow.
absolutely loved.
So which translation did you prefer?
I think I preferred Urdu to Hindi because it was just a literal translation, and it
Yeah.
was like in Devanagari. That's it. That was the only difference, not in
Okay.
Urdu. But I
Yeah.
absolutely loved that. I prefer the Hindi, though it took me some time to finish
Yeah.
reading the Hindi uh, translation than the English translation.
So is there any book that you picked up and you had to push through to finish it? Like it was, or simply left it in between because you just did not know how to finish?
Oh,
Has there ever?
so many of them. Like a
Yeah.
very popular choice, which people hate me for, is American Gods.
Yeah.
People loved it, but I struggled to finish it. Sacred Games is another one. People
Okay.
loved it. I struggled to finish it. I don't understand that book. I don't know why it's so hyped. I don't see the point of it. Though I love his other book, Red Earth and Pouring Rain, which I think is a way better book, and that
Yeah.
nobody talks about. But everybody's honestly only talking about Sacred Games, maybe because it's a show and all that.
Maybe.
So these two definitely
Yeah.
in the recent past, I've had a major problem with them.
Yeah. But like, have you ever like so a lot of people today when they have to start reading, a lot of people that I know from my generation started reading with Chetan Bhagat. So what is your, if I may ask, your opinion of him?
See,
Like
I don't
Chetan.
honestly, I don't have an opinion because I have not read anything that he has written. So
Okay.
I can't form an opinion without reading. Second,
Yeah.
I think if he pushes people to read anyway, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, if through Chetan Bhagat they discover even a fraction, even an essay by Arundhati Roy or someone
Yeah.
like Sachin Kundalkar, or they discover, Salma, or they discover any of these
Yeah.
writers, why not? We evolve as readers and we evolve as
True.
people. We are constantly evolving. Today, you know, it's okay. People should be allowed to read what they want to without having the fear of being judged by someone who's not even a friend.
Right.
I mean, social media is terrible in that sense because if somebody puts up now that they are reading J.K. Rowling, people
Yeah.
are going to come at them with knives and torches, and that's not the way
Oh,
you go about it. Yes, she
true.
said something inappropriate,
Yeah.
and yes, you have cancelled her for whatever reason. But does that mean you can force your opinion on someone else? No, I don't think so. That
Right.
person will understand on their own. Who are you to tell them what to read and what not to read? So I think this gatekeeping business of
Yeah.
also what to watch, what not to watch. Oh, you haven't watched Fight Club. Oh, you haven't watched Godfather. I hated Godfather. And
Yeah.
get lost because I don't care. Not
Right.
everybody is supposed to love or like what you like and love. And I think that's a major problem with most arts and the way people who are passionate about a particular movie or a book, and that's all right. Be passionate, but understand what you're doing to the other person's psyche by
Right.
imposing your view on that.
Do you have a list of authors or artists that you think were better known, like well known?
As
Do
in,
you think they are very underrated and you wish, like, I wish more people would know about them?
no, then people will not be able to appreciate them. So I'm glad that they are underrated in that sense. Like,
Yeah.
see, I love Wong Kar Wai's movies, but very rarely do people talk about him in India. They do once in a while when they
Yeah.
see a picture of In the Mood for Love or whatever. I wish, but they don't discuss him all that much.
Yeah.
Like Sophie Coppola has made fewer movies, but she gets talked about a lot more.
Right.
So, which I'm like, okay, but why? What is the problem? But
Yeah.
I think okay, it's all right because I think they are not underrated. If they were underrated, then we wouldn't know about them.
Right.
The fact that we know about them and a few people, which then when you look at it on a global scale, becomes so many people, right? And we
Yeah.
all know and we love and appreciate. There are a couple of them, like there is Mishima, where people know of, but they don't read. Like a lot of people
Right.
underrated in the sense I don't say only by knowing, but it's also in consuming that work. Are you consuming it? It's very easy to say that I love this writer and that writer, but have you actually read the writer? I think
Right.
that's another layer to that in terms of underrated and overrated. And what is overrated? Just because everybody is reading Murakami doesn't make him overrated. It just makes him more accessible. Yeah,
That's actually a very good thought. Yeah.
understand, but do people understand his work? Then he is underrated in that sense
Yeah.
because people may not, a larger population may not understand, and that's why they bitch about him or they crib about him so much. And I love his writing. So in that sense, would you call him overrated or underrated? Then I think he's definitely underrated.
Like, if we were not to go outside, what are the Indian authors that you feel are very underrated that way?
See, I think in that sense, Mahashweta Devi is one. Though people have read, but they only read Mother of 1084 and they leave it at that. They're not exploring other works. Shanta
Yeah.
Gokhale is another. I think she's very underrated. There's a writer
Right.
called Salma who I mentioned earlier. She's underrated. I think all of these writers that come from different states and write in different languages are grossly underrated because
Okay.
reading is not only confined to urban spaces. I think we must understand that and acknowledge it. Reading is confined to small cities. Reading is confined to villages. Reading is confined to bedtime stories. Is reading what your
Yeah.
grandmother tells you, what your parents tell you. That's reading. And those are folk tales, those are legends, those are myths, which nobody speaks about. That is underrated.
Right.
When I look at Katha Sarit Sagar, which is the Indian tradition storytelling, that's underrated. Panchatantra is underrated. Jataka tales. I mean, बचपन
Yeah.
में पढ़ लिया तो क्या हुआ? Continue that. And when you don't continue, automatically those things become underrated. Because today,
Right.
see, I don't have a problem with people narrate Peppa Pig or any other thing to their children. That's fine. But then in that sense, what literature is also will make them diverse is gets underrated. So I
Right.
think one must look at who is consuming that. Like there's so many people who read literature in Malayalam, in Tamil, because Kerala is 99% literacy or 100% literacy. But
Yeah.
but why don't we look at that literature and try and consume that? Like S. Harish, who won the JCB award for Mustache, that's
Yes. Yes.
underrated. But people are talking about it because of an award. So that also has its merits and its demerits. But I think a lot of Indian literature goes unseen so many times.
Do you have any recommendation in terms of Indian literature then that say top five recommendations for people who want to
Wow.
start but uh, do not know where to begin?
See, Cobalt Blue is very simple in the writing. So I think they can
Yeah.
start with Cobalt Blue. It's a shorter book, but leaves an emotional mark. It is very immersive in that sense. So I think that's a great book to start with.
Yeah.
Again, I would definitely say start with any short story collection by any writer. Just,
Yeah.
there's so many. There's Shashi Deshpande who writes short stories. Shashi Tharoor has written short stories. There's Premchand, of course. There is who else is there? There's Salma again, who I have to mention because I love her works. She's just come out with a short story collection. Um, so there's so many of them, and people. I think that's a great place to start. anything.
Right.
Then third book. Let me just look at my bookshelf, okay, if you don't mind.
Sure, sure, sure.
Um, in fact, Haroon and the Sea of Stories. That's
Yeah.
another book that I would recommend people to read because it's easy to read and very interesting and easy to understand also. Unlike Salman Rushdie's other books,
Yeah.
which are not very easy and very difficult. What else is there? That there's a book with a Pakistani writer that I absolutely love, and I think that's underrated. And it's very funny, and it's called The Diary of a Social Butterfly
Okay.
by Moni Mohsin, and it's actually very intellectual. It may sound frivolous, but it's beautifully written in the form of a diary about a bored Pakistani housewife and
Yeah.
how all she wants to do is attend parties and eat good food and wear nice jewelry and only pamper her son. But
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Vani, if you read it, you'll see how nuanced it is. In the sense, she's also talking about political issues and feminist issues and so many other things. And it is hilarious. The Diary of a Social Butterfly by Moni Mohsin, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And that's very easy to read. It's not very difficult at all. And another book which I think is very simple to read is by another Pakistani writer called Mohsin Hamid.
Okay. So what are you reading these days?
Well,
Do you pick up like a lot of books and then you see what will work out, or do you just like pick up one book and then you read it?
I just pick up one book.
Okay.
I think it's just about knowing what you want to read at that
Yeah.
time. So I'm just about to finish this. I'm going to finish this tonight. I'm reading this right now.
Okay.
Women
It's
Dreaming by Salma again, translated by Meena Kandasamy from
yeah.
Tamil. It's about
Wow.
these women in a village in Tamil Nadu and their lives and their aspirations, and about these Muslim women in a village in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
It's very interestingly written. It's heartbreaking yet funny, but very empowering. So I recommend that to everyone.
Okay. What is that one book that, made you want to learn a new language and
Oh,
just,
I
yeah.
absolutely. I think I fell in love with 100 Years of Solitude by Marquez, and all I
Yeah.
wanted to do was learn Spanish, which I also
Yeah.
started learning last year. Because
Wow.
the pandemic is now on hold, and once
Okay.
classes start again, offline classes, which they will, I'll go
Yeah.
back to it. And I want to,
Yeah.
one day, before I die, I want to read 100 Years of Solitude in Spanish and Sputnik Sweetheart by Haruki
Okay. Yeah.
Murakami in Japanese. So I think
Yeah.
these two languages I really want to learn.
Yeah. I read this fact. I don't know if it's right. But Marquez actually said he was very surprised by the English
Yeah.
translation.
He said
Yeah.
it's a better version or edition than what he wrote
Yeah.
in Spanish. Yeah,
True.
that's what he said.
I think it's the favorite book of my brother as well. 100 Years of Solitude, the entire family.
See,
What was your favorite character in the book?
I think for me it was the matriarch,
Okay.
the wife of the first Buendia, the head of the family. I think she was my favorite
Yeah.
character because the determination to keep waiting for a husband to come, for her children to arrive,
Yeah.
to take hold of the entire family, and to quietly do everything. I think that's a
Yeah.
lot of nerve. And she was a woman of steel completely throughout the book. And I think she was fashioned after Marquez's own mother or grandmother. I think one
Yeah.
of the two.
Yeah. I think it was the grandmother. I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
I think so.
But
No,
yeah.
no, no. I think so.
Yeah.
You're correct.
So I also want to do like a quick rapid fire with you.
Sure.
And just say like the first thing that comes to your head.
Oh.
So first, your favorite dedication at the beginning of any book.
My favorite
Of a book.
dedication is what Vikram Seth did in an Equal Music
Yeah.
to his partner at that time, where he did it arranging it by the letters of his name. So yeah, that's my favorite dedication.
And what is your favorite monologue?
Favorite monologue in a book has to be Sputnik Sweetheart, when
Yeah.
Kale, the character, is talking about life and loneliness and love.
And your favorite book cover of all time?
My favorite book cover of all times. Wow, that's a tough one. But I think it's The God of Small Things.
Yeah. And your favorite film adaptation of a classic novel?
The English Patient. Not a
Okay.
classic, but still,
Yeah.
it is a classic. It's been about 20
Yeah.
years and more since the book has come out. So
Okay, and this is like my last question. What book would you translate to Hindi? 50 Shades of Grey or Twilight? If you had no other option.
I think 50 Shades of Grey. Let's give them a little excitement.
Okay. So I'm also aware that like now we've discussed a lot of books. I also want to know what kind of music do you listen to?
All my music actually comes from TV shows that I watch.
Yeah.
Like, there was a time I used to be a huge Grey's Anatomy fan. So
Yeah.
every song played in every episode is there on my phone. I
Same.
I love the music, and I didn't know for the longest time it was called indie. Uh,
Yeah.
I got to know about 10 years ago, but I love the show and I love the music of the show. So and
What is your favorite song from the
you know
show?
when Izzy and Alex get married, Turn
Yeah.
to Stone.
Yeah.
That's my favorite song by
That's
Ingrid
it.
Michaelson. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I love that song. Love that song, and I love the moment in which it happens.
I think when Meredith and I'm forgetting the name of the doctor's Chinese, is she's
Yeah,
leaving.
yeah, Christina.
Yeah, she's leaving and they dance it out in the locker
Yes,
room.
yes, that's the one that plays at the
That's
beginning also in the first episode.
yeah, it's Where
Uh,
Does the Good Go,
yeah,
I
where
think.
does the
I'm
good
not
go?
yeah,
Yes, yes.
that is
I
one
love.
of
Oh
my
my God, you're a Grey's Anatomy fan too. Love it.
yes, I saw it until Derek Shepard passed away. Then I
Yeah,
was
me
just
too.
too
Then I was like,
heartbroken.
me too. No, actually, I only watched till season 8 because I was
Okay.
very heartbroken when McSteamy and Lizzie died.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
couldn't.
yeah, yeah.
I just couldn't.
That yeah. No, I saw it until Derek Shepard died.
But you know what?
Then
Maybe now when it's getting over, I'm going to watch all seasons from season 1.
I always stop on season 10 when he passes away because I just don't have the strength in me to do it anymore. And
I
yeah.
know.
Is there any other kind of music that you listen to apart from this?
So a lot of classics, a lot of 50s and 60s, old Bollywood songs and old
Yeah.
Hollywood songs. Like,
Okay.
love that. Love Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley.
Okay.
And I love old Lata Mangeshkar songs. Asha Bhosle, love it. Uh,
Yeah.
love R.D. Burman music. Love Gulzar Saab.
And what about films? Like, is there any film that you're obsessed with?
Chungking Express. I watched it
Okay.
about 23 times, and I love that movie. Absolutely love it. And I don't know. There's something about it. I think it's just a blend of everything about
True.
loneliness, about that being expressed through expired pineapple cans, about she just going and working and without the policeman knowing that she's going to his house and cleaning his
Yeah.
house, and the way it ends. I think Wonka Wai's genius is absolute genius material.
So before we leave, I also want to ask you about your journal because I was, of course, as I've already confessed, I was talking to you a lot on Instagram, and I love your journal. I picked up my diary that I left in August of this year, and then I quietly penned down every book I've read after it, like this morning, because I was like, I need to do this as well. So, what is your process of journaling in it? Because you write so many things, you make
Yeah.
lists of the books you've read, the authors and their books that you read about in books. You
Yeah.
also make notes about songs. So what is like your process of journaling?
I think it's very arbid actually. It's very
Yeah.
random, very random. Whatever thought comes to mind, when I read, I normally listen to a lot of music. So
Yeah.
in my head, and on the journal, I also create a playlist for every book. And
Yeah.
these are the songs I heard while listening to this book. So it becomes like a
Wow.
personal go-to thing. If I want to reread the book, I know that I can
Yeah.
I can refer to that. So there are playlists in my phone which are named after books.
Wow.
So yeah. So there's a Haruki Murakami playlist. There is so while I was reading Becoming, I had a playlist for that. So there is a Michelle
Huh.
Obama playlist. I'll never
So,
read his husband's book. Oh God, no. But
you know what? I think I'm actually going to learn from that and do that myself.
maybe you should. It'll be good
Yes.
fun.
I also want to get your recommendations for translated literature as we had spoken.
There's actually I had done an entire thread on Twitter and
Yeah.
Instagram on translated literature, Indian translations by
Yeah.
women. Uh,
Yeah.
but I wanted to do 100, but I've only ended up doing very few. So there's a section called
Oh.
Women in Translation, which I actually,
Yeah.
it's there in my highlights. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so there is, I love
And
My Story by Kamala Das. That's a very good translation. There's a book,
yeah.
Disoriental, which is an Iranian translation by
Okay.
Negar Javadi. That's a brilliant, brilliant book. There's a summer book by Tove Jansson,
Mm-hmm.
and she's a Danish writer, and she's
Okay.
also written a series of comics called Movement.
Okay.
Adorable, adorable series of comics. I recommend that to everyone. There is, what else is there? There's Shanta Gokhale's books, Rita
Okay.
Velinkar, which is an excellent book in translation. There is, oh God, there's so many of them. Why am I drawing a blank?
Yeah. No, that's completely okay.
I'm just looking at my bookshelf again. There's Hurricane Season,
Yeah.
which I just read last year, but
Yeah.
everybody should read that book. It's a great book. There's Bani Basu's Fifth Man, another
Yeah.
very good book. There's by her only, it's called Moom, Dozaknama. That book is about how Ghalib and Manto are conversing with each other
Yeah.
through their graves, from their
Oh,
grave.
that
Yeah.
is so
So
interesting.
they are, so like one is buried in Pakistan and one is buried in India, and they are both conversing with each other through their graves, talking about the world, talking about literature, talking about art, talking about music and movies. It's a fantastic book. It is so well
Wow.
written. The name of the writer I now remembered is Ravi Shankar Bal, and I think everyone should read that book. It is so
Yeah.
well written. What else is there? Translated literature. Mm, For now, that's it. I think
No, that's great. I think our viewers will be overwhelmed by the recommendations.
well, I hope not, but yeah.
So, yeah, so thank you so much for doing this,
Thanks a
Vivek. I
lot.
mean,
Thank you
it
so much.
means so much.
My pleasure. Not at all. Thank you very much. So if you don't subscribe to Chalchitra Talks, I think you're losing out on great content. So please subscribe, like, share, do whatever, but please follow them. And they have some great recommendations for books, for music, for movies. In fact, Vani also has a book club going, and she reads from books on Chalchitra
Yeah.
Talks, which I love, by the way.